What TV show/series have you been most deeply attached? Futurama, no contest, I listen to it while I work. I quote it with friends. I've cosplayed as Dr. Swaberg and met Billy West. Father Ted. It makes me laugh, no matter how many times I've seen the episodes. Especially the Harry Baby episode, Speed. I think it was series/season 3, edit, spelling. My sausage fingers and mobile screen do not mix well, edit 2, reading the comments and even the quotes from the show, are making me laugh. Thank you. Father, I've killed a man, not now. The Simpsons. I grew up watching it every night. It feels like less of a TV show and more of an old friend who's been there for me during bad times when I needed to laugh, who reminds me that it's okay, I'm a flawed human being and that my family is the most important thing in my life. If I have a daughter, I know I'm going to make it do it for her plaque like Homer's, and if I have a son as well. Seasons 3 to 9 of The Simpsons is some of the greatest TV ever written. It truly was something special and influenced too much. The Stargate franchise. SG-1 raised me and literally shaped who I am as a person today. The X-Files. I used to record 6-episode blocks on VHS when they played X-Files marathons all night on TNT. Then devour them the following day after school. I got into the show when I was 13. I used to play a tape of episodes every night and fall asleep to it on very low volume. There was a nice run of episodes in season 6 that were my particular favorites to sleep to. Watching the show now brings me right back to those cozy memories. Monk. Reminds me of simpler times and popcorn nights with my dad. Dexter, specifically the first season, cause it most mirrors the first book. I'm really glad they took it in a different direction cause the books got a little weird. Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks perfectly encapsulates nostalgic carefree life and the dark underbelly that lies beneath it. And the cast of characters is second to none. Nothing warms my soul quite like catching up with my favorite characters over a coffee and a slice of cherry pie at the RR Diner. Star Trek. I grew up watching the old original series reruns with my dad, and fresh episodes of TNG when it aired. I watched most of DS9 but lost interest a couple seasons in when it was on. Voyager was probably my favorite of them all and it's the one I watched the most frequently, those late night reruns especially. Then there's Enterprise, which came out when I was having a rough time in my life. It wasn't the best but it was nice in a familiar way, but the ducking theme song was the worst. Now Disco, which is, well, it's not great but it's watchable. Arrested Development. Great show. The original 3 seasons of the show has more jokes packed in it than other shows with 10 seasons. Absolutely incredible writing. Buffy. I watched it for the first time at the beginning of the pandemic. It was oddly calming and very creative. My GF showed me it. It's so much better than I expected. The body messed me up. SpongeBob. My younger siblings loved it and we don't go a day without making a reference. It's also always a popular meme machine. Frasier. It helped me through my divorce. I related to Niles and his issues with his wife Maris. I related to Frasier and his dating struggles. It's a warm, clever, and supremely written show. Sherry Niles. Frasier is an all-time great show and still holds up very well. The dinner party episode is just plain brilliant writing. 6 Feet Under. I rewatch it every 2 years, and get emotionally destroyed every time. I still think of the finale from time to time. I've never seen a series finale as well done as this one. Now I'm off to rewatch it again. Sight. I have so many memories tied to watching it with my dad. It's our go-to and never fails to make him giggle. Pushing Daisies. It always makes me feel good when someone remembers this amazing show that ended way too early. Breaking Bad. I'm only halfway through the 4th season on my first time through and I love it. The original Ben 10. Growing up it was one of my favorite shows to watch and it taught me life lessons on family, how to take responsibility, and become a better person in life. Grandpa Max and Ben shaped me into the person who I am today. I watched Community for the first time as a senior in high school, and it made me actually look forward to going to college at a time when even thinking about university filled me with dread and anxiety. I kept watching the show because the jokes were just so quick and smart, but I stayed because of how much I cared about the characters. I'd still say Abed is one of my favorite characters of any show I've watched. Lately, The Expanse. They take physics in space very seriously, aside from a few instances of sound outside the ship. Doctor Who. Lost count on how many times I have rewatched all of the seasons, and it still brings me joy every time. Adventure Time. Watched it when I needed it, it changed my life and I'll always cherish and love it. Edit, thanks for the upvotes and awards peeps, this is by far the most I've gotten. It was strange hopping on Reddit to see this many notifications lol. Bob's Burgers. I was able to get my mom to watch it with me before she passed, and it's something I will always treasure. Ted Lasso. It's just so wholesome and positive, exactly what I need these days. The Good Place. It shaped the way I think of how we only get one chance at life. I have never been more affected by a show's ending finale. Bawled like a baby and was inconsolable for a few hours afterwards. It really put my fears and beliefs of what happens after we die into perspective and into a concept I could understand. BoJack Horseman. The intro to that show just resonates on like a spiritual level. The melancholy. The indifference. The empty and vain attempts at happiness. The dissatisfaction. I've never been to California. Don't drink. Don't do drugs. I'm not famous. My parents weren't abusive, and that show still could hit uncomfortably close to home.